Good afternoon. Welcome. How are you today? Hello, Amy. Oh, this is gonna feel extra good then. I don't know about you guys, but my body tells me when I have not practiced. It will definitely start, it starts as a whisper and then it starts to yell at me. So I'm happy that we can get you back into some kind of practice today. And chair yoga is such a perfect place to start, so. Oh, yeah. Well, I know for me, being at home more, I'm kind of just like finding myself sitting more. So I don't know if that's similar to what you're experiencing. So hopefully we can kind of open ourselves up a little bit, get the legs moving. Yeah. Let me know if there's anything in any particular movements that you guys are looking for, or if there's a part of the body that you want to address. I have to see what time it is. Okay, yeah, I've got about 10 minutes. Yes, the Netflix cramp. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, this will be perfect. We'll definitely kind of work into the hips a little bit. We'll stretch out the spine. And then one of the wonderful things about having a chair yoga practice is that it does bring so much more awareness to the body in a seated position. And so when we find ourselves not in a yoga practice, but we are sitting, all of a sudden, you know, after a little while of dedicating ourselves to that practice, we start to find ourselves in more integrity in a seated position. So something that I was kind of blown away by the first couple times that I took a class with Michelle, and so I'm happy that we can do this together today. We'll shake out those Netflix cramps. Sure if that's better. Okay. We've got just a couple more minutes, so all you need is a chair. You may want to grab a pillow and a blanket. If you do have a yoga block, you may want to use that if that's something that you're comfortable using, but you definitely don't need it. The pillow can be used, or a blanket here. You can use it as something to sit on, but I know in my own body, it's really important for me to support the curve in my low back. And I find that a lot of people have that same experience. And so you can either sit on the pillow and take your other prop and kind of just bring it right behind you. And so you'll see that it just fills the curve of the low back. And sitting up a little bit higher onto the pillow or a blanket allows the knees to just soften down. We get the hips up a little bit higher than the knees. And so you might want to just try that and see how that feels to start. Just while we spend time warming up, you may want to take them out as we start to move along. But as a place to start, try it out, see how it feels. Some people like to have a yoga mat under their feet. Some people like to have a blanket, or again, a couple props maybe, especially if your legs are a little bit shorter and your feet don't touch the ground. It's really nice to let the ground kind of rise up to meet you so that you can feel supported underneath your feet and your hips. Great. And so we'll go ahead and get started. Where's my book here? I wanted to read you, before we start, a little excerpt from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. It's one of my favorite books and one that I read from over and over again. It just doesn't get old for me, and so many people have said that it resonates with them. And this one's called The Ground We Walk. And Mark Nepo says, I listened carefully as he described his little girl's first steps. And he encouraged her to keep her eyes on him, and only when she didn't did she stumble. Only when she lost her focus, when she became too conscious of the steps she was taking, did she fall. I was afraid he was going to declare some parental primacy that without his loving presence, his little girl wouldn't be able to make her way. But to my surprise, he understood her first steps more deeply as a wisdom that affects us all. He stared off, offering slowly. She made me realize that when I stop looking for a sense of truth, I stumble. And when I lose my focus on what really matters, I fall. This small story has stayed with me, for aren't we forever taking first steps again and again? Don't we uncover a mystery of strength by looking out before us and bringing into focus a deeper sense of truth? Isn't balance, in reality, the ability to step quite naturally, like this little girl, without too much thought into everything larger than our fear? As we practice today, my friends, allow yourself to just show up as you are, knowing that you are perfect in this moment. This class is an offering of Toivo by Advocacy Unlimited. And I want to remind you that my voice is just a guide. Listen to your body. You are your greatest teacher, especially right now while I can't see you. It's really important that you only take what you need and you leave the rest, okay? Be mindful that as we practice yoga and as we move our bodies, all kinds of sensations are going to come up. And the practice of yoga is really about coming back to the breath, grounding ourselves in that awareness of the breath, and learning how to kind of go with the flow of the natural rise and fall, the fluctuations that are always around us. So allow yourself to just be what you need to be in this moment. And now, starting in our chair, to the ground or your prop. And maybe you have found a comfortable way to support the natural curves of your spine. Wherever you are, see if you can sit up a little bit taller, maybe stacking shoulders over hips, letting the hands just rest to the thighs. Let the crown of the head reach up nice and tall. The very top of the head reaches up. And maybe you close the eyes here. Closing the eyes is not comfortable for everyone, so you can always leave the eyes open. Just find a spot to focus on, one spot, a spot that's unmoving, so that your eyes can rest there. Let the gaze soften on that one spot. We take in a lot of sensation through the eyes, so it's so important to just let them rest for a moment so that we can turn our conscious awareness to our other senses. So wherever you are, eyes closed or resting, softly focused in front of you, take a moment to feel your feet to the prop or the ground. Feel your hips to the chair. Your hands to the thighs. Maybe you have a sense of your clothes on your skin, the air, the temperature of the room. And even if the eyes are closed, see if you can just bring awareness to the walls of the room that you're in. If the eyes are closed, you can visualize, and if the eyes are open, you can take a look and just notice where you are in the room. Notice the ceiling above you. And can you start to notice your breath here? How does it feel to breathe in your body in this moment without asking it to change? Does the breath feel tight or constricted today? Does it move freely in the chest? Does it move into the belly? Do you feel the breath moving in the back body at all? Maybe there's some constriction in the throat or a stuffiness in the nose. And there's nothing to judge here. We just notice. Meet your breath right where it is without asking it to change or be something that it's not. And once you feel like you've noticed it, where you've met the breath just as it is, you've got your baseline, then we can start to deepen the breath. When you're ready, draw one hand to the heart and one hand to the low belly. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhaling, draw the breath deep into the belly. Belly expands, ribs expand, chest lifts. And exhale, navel draws in and up, ribs deflate, chest drops down. So you're breathing the body into the hands. And out, everything drops. Breathe in, fill the hands, fill the back of your body, the sides of your body, the whole cylinder of your body. And as you exhale, let it all deflate. And take a few more rounds there, just breathing deeply. Maybe you're breathing in and out through the nose, if accessible, or breathe in a way that allows you to take in your fullest, deepest breath. You might notice that as you deepen the breath, there starts to be an audible sound, right? And we can take ujjayi breath, or ocean sounding breath, by adding a gentle constriction to the back of the throat. It's almost the same as if you were trying to fog a mirror, except the mouth is closed. So it'll sound like this. Now when you're ready, we're going to come into a counting breath where we inhale for the count of 4, we hold for the count of 7, and we exhale out nice and long for the count of 8. That's just the range, right? It's a spectrum, that 0 to 8. And so wherever you lie on that spectrum, it's just good to notice. That's just what we're working towards. No judgment here. So when you're ready, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take a few more rounds on your own. And take one more round wherever you are, and this time see if you can drop your shoulders down a little bit as you take that breath. You have a tendency to pull the shoulders up as we hold the breath, but as you hold, let them come down, relax the body. And when you have finished that last round, gently draw your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in. And let it out through the mouth. One more inhale. Take a moment here, connect with your heart space, whatever this means for you. God, nature, love, flow, all names are welcome here. A loved one's face, a happy memory. Maybe you're just showing up in this moment, this connection to the physical beating of the heart. And whatever that is for you, take a moment here and set an intention for your practice. We set an intention so that we can dedicate our breath, our movement, and our mindfulness to that intention. And know that whatever it is that you hope for yourself, I hope it for you too. And we'll seal that intention. Take a deep breath in and out. Beautiful. Go ahead and let the hands come down. Let's find a little movement in the shoulders. So notice as we start to come into the movement, do you need to adjust your seat at all? Are the props feeling supportive still? And if they're not, adjust them, right? We're not stuck wherever we have laid our props. We get to move them and let the support evolve with our practice. Sometimes I really need the support at first, and then as my body begins to loosen up and as my breath reminds my body that it's safe enough to relax, then I don't need so much of the external support. I start to reconnect with the internal support that is always there. I just forget that it's there. So roll those shoulders up to the ears, back and down. And again, every movement, every posture lies on a spectrum. It can be very small to start. Maybe it barely looks like you're moving. Or it can be nice and big. And maybe take a couple rolls forward. Beautiful. And just do a couple shrugs up and down. Very nice. Let the shoulders relax now. Just roll out the wrists. So just roll in one direction. And the other. And go ahead and just flick out the fingers. You can do one finger at a time or kind of all the fingers. You'll know that you really got a nice movement going on if you can have like a sound with it. And maybe just shake out the arms a little bit. Breathe here. If you're holding your breath, breathe. And just notice, isn't that how interesting? I know it's interesting in my own body when I start to take a little bit of movement, my breath becomes a little bit tighter. Then I have to remind myself, all right, nice, slow, deep breath. Beautiful. Go ahead and relax the shoulders now. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Press your heels into the ground, right, or your prop, so that you're sitting up nice and tall. You can start to feel this activation of the muscles in the legs, and then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Dropping to the center, so you're still reaching up tall. There's length before you curl your chin. And then to the other side. You're still pressing your feet into the ground. Let the legs be active. And then just move with that half circle. And again, every movement lies on a spectrum. So maybe it looks like you're barely moving here. And there's been studies done on the idea that visualization is so powerful. So we can activate the same parts of the brain as if we were really doing a movement by just visualizing it. And so if you can't take a movement, visualize it. And breathe there. Beautiful. And go ahead and let the head come back up to center. Take the gaze up, not to crank the neck very far back, but just gently look up. Press your feet into the ground if you've lost that connection. You can press the heels down and out, and then you can really start to feel the legs activate, maybe into the glutes a little bit. The legs might be a little bit tired already. All right, so just look up and then come back to center. Beautiful. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. A few rounds there. Rise. Can you keep your feet connected to the ground, legs active? And if you ever need a break, take a break, but it's a nice way to build strength there. One of those movements that it will feel hard while we're doing it, but if we dedicate ourselves to taking that movement every time we come here, then when we come to a seated posture, whether on the mat or not, we'll start to find our muscles engaging, supporting us without so much effort. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Go ahead and lift your left foot, roll out that left ankle. So you'll notice that we're really taking our time to warm up the smaller joints in the body. We often want to get right into big poses, but how important it is to give back to those little parts of the body that actually do a lot of work in our yoga practice. So just make sure you're rolling in both directions. And if you have shoes on, you can still do this, but try to like splay your toes as wide as you can. Like you're gonna just break out of that shoe. Kind of press out through the ball of the foot. Maybe bend and straighten the leg a little bit. Beautiful. And then take that left leg out to the left. And so again, this will look different for everybody. Remember that my body is just a guide. So this is how I look in this pose. How do you look in this pose? Everybody's different. Let yourself just be, okay? You can take your left hand to the inside of the left leg and gently press the hand into the leg into the hand. So you're kind of working against it. You can do the back of the hand. That might actually feel better in the shoulder. Notice what feels right for you. But press into the leg into the hand. Press down through your heel as well. Down to the ground, into the hand. Beautiful. Now soften there and see if you can just take the leg out a little bit farther. Take a breath there. Beautiful. Take that leg back to center. Let's come to the other side. So lift the right. I got lots of pops and creaks. So go ahead and roll the ankle. And see if you can keep the connection, your other foot to the ground, right? We have a tendency to kind of lose that connection, but stay grounded and stable on the other leg so that you can move gracefully and from a solid foundation in the other leg. Splay those toes, press out through the ball of the foot. Deep breath. Maybe a bend and straight in there. Nice. You can always stay here, or when you're ready, you can take your right leg out to the right. And this side might be totally different than the other. You might have a greater range of motion. Maybe you've had injury on this side and you can barely move it at all. That's okay. Just notice. It's really part of, so much of the practice is bringing awareness to those imbalances in our body. And sometimes awareness is just a really beautiful step in the process. So go ahead and take your right hand to the inside of the right leg, whether the hand is pressing in or maybe the back of the hand. The back of the hand feels better in my shoulder, but I have a tendency to round here. So if you're already open, that might not be such a big deal to you. But again, just notice what feels right in your body. Press down through that right heel into the ground, and then the leg into the hand into the leg. Take a deep breath, sit up tall. Make sure your other heel is connected. That left heel is still connected, pressing down. Deep breath. Keep pressing, one more breath. And then as you release, maybe you can open up a little bit more and just take a deep breath there. And if you can't, that's okay too. Deep breath. Beautiful. Go ahead and draw that left foot back in. Go ahead and take your left knee in towards your chest. So you're just lifting the leg up. Now maybe you are just using your core strength, the hip strength. You don't need the hands, or maybe the hands come to the underneath the thigh, or you can hold the top of the knee. Just take a deep breath there. Maybe roll out the ankle a little bit. Beautiful. If it feels right, you can ground your left hand underneath the chair and create a little bit of a circle in the hip. And then the other direction. Take that foot down. Other side, right? So just go ahead and draw it in for a second. Really press down through that left heel. Sit up nice and tall, deep breath. Maybe you roll out that right ankle. Maybe the left hand hooks onto the chair so that you can take a little bit of a circle. One direction, and then the other. And then go ahead and let the leg come back down. Beautiful. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, we're gonna fold it forward. So start to come forward. Some of you may be up tall, right? Hands to the tops of the thighs. And some of you may have more range of motion. You may be able to come forward a little farther. Maybe the arms even release to the ground and you let yourself really roll down. Maybe there's a little sway in your upper body. And you can do that up tall too. Just a little sway, kind of pulling yourself out of your hips wherever you are. Like pulling up and over. You can shake the head, yes. Shake the head no. And when you're ready, really press your feet into the ground. Start to roll yourself up. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, let's take a twist to the left. So your left arm comes back behind you. Right hand sits outside of that left knee. Press both of your feet into the ground. Sit up nice and tall. Deep breath. Beautiful. Inhale, arms rise. Other side, twist. Left hand sits outside the right knee. Your back hand can reach back over the chair. It'll really depend on what kind of chair you have. You might want to be to the front of it if it's too high for you to get your arm over. So again, get creative. Let it look like it needs to look for you. We come into yoga with a lot of expectations because of images that we've seen online, and it's really important to let those go and to let your practice just be what it is. There's so much freedom in that. Take a deep breath. Let's twist one more time on each side. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, look up. Press your feet into the ground. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach up through the crown of the head. Take the breath into the belly, kind of like you're drawing the breath down a spiral staircase. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, look up, press the heels into the ground. Exhale, other side. Beautiful. Deep breath. Breathe down that spiral staircase. My friends, these movements are nothing without the breath. We fill the shape with this revitalizing life force prana. And that's where the magic happens. Deep breath. Beautiful. Arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. A deep breath reminds the body that it's safe in that posture. So how beautiful is that, to take a shape and then breathe as if to say, here I'm safe. Beautiful. When you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Now as we exhale, take your left hand, kind of hold on to the chair, and you're going to reach up and over. That feels good. So really plant your left foot down. Plant your left hip down, or right hip, excuse me. Right foot, right hip. Right arm reaches up and over. Come back to center, and then right over to the other side. Really plant that left foot. You can press the heel into the ground. Drop the left. Drop the hip. Let the arm reach up and over. I think I'm getting my left and right confused. We'll make our way to both sides anyway. Let's do one more time on each side. You can make it a little bit more flowy now. One side to the other. One side to the other. And just notice the head, right? There is an opportunity to drop the head and kind of let, just kind of really relax over, right? Or you can also take the movement, like keep the head very straight, extending out of the spine. And so just notice the difference there. Beautiful, and then come back to center. Take your hands to the thighs. Inhale, press your chest forward. Exhale, round your spine, drop your head. Inhale, press forward. You're really arching the back. And exhale, round the spine, drop the head. Inhale, press forward. See if you can squeeze those shoulder blades back behind you, kind of grip into the legs, like you're pulling yourself forward, reaching up through the crown of the head. And exhale, really sink back round. One more, inhale forward. And exhale back. Beautiful. Come back up to center and take a moment to just create a little bit of a circle here, a Sufi grind. So you're just rolling your spine in a circle. Again, start small and then allow the movement to get a little bit bigger. So as you inhale, right, you can link the breath with the movement. Inhale forward, exhale as you round back. And with your hips kind of seated into the chair, the low back gets this nice release. So see if you can keep your sitting bones down instead of lifting the sitting bones up, right? Let the sitting bones stay rooted and let the circle happen in the spine. And then slowly start to reverse that direction. If you've lost connection, feet to floor, gently press the feet down. Beautiful. And when you're ready, come back to center. Take a deep breath here. And a long breath out. One more inhale. Exhale. Perfect. So we're going to come into a warrior series. So if you have something under your seat, you may want to move it like a pillow. But again, if the chair is really hard, you also might want a blanket under you, just to provide a little extra cushion here. Okay? So when you're ready, you're going to take your left leg out to the left. Okay? Now just notice how that feels. So maybe this is where you stay. You kind of plant that foot down. If you want more sensation, you're going to take your right leg back. So you'll turn a little bit towards the left, and your opposite leg will come back, right? So it's like you have your heel in line with the sole of your foot, okay? Again, maybe you're here, maybe you're here. Wherever you are is perfect. You don't really have to support yourself too much here because the chair is going to support you. And you can even scoot yourself back a little bit so that really the whole left leg is supported by the chair. And even in my body here, this chair is a little high, so you might want a little blanket under the front foot. So just notice how that feels. This is quite a deep stretch, so be gentle wherever you are. And go ahead and take your arms out if that feels good. So they might want to stay low, maybe supported by the chair, or you can take the arms out to the side. Okay? And let the gaze just look over those front fingertips. Now, the more you press your feet into the ground, you can start to activate the legs, and over time, you might even lift off, almost not needing the support of the chair, but be gentle there, right? There's nothing to rush or force. Take a deep breath here. Now stay right here, or you can start to reverse your warrior. Right hand slides back and the left arm reaches up. Deep breath. We'll come back to warrior two. Then we'll take it side angle. Left elbow into the left hip crease. And your right arm can reach up towards the sky or come to the hip. Okay, deep breath. Perfect. Slowly come back up. Find your warrior two. Deep breath. And slowly take the hands down. We'll slowly start to put a bend in that right leg. Draw the leg back in. Draw your left leg back in. You can move nice and slow. Now, if you had to stay here the whole time, beautiful. I'm so happy that you stayed and took what you needed. Right? There's so much work to be done there. So nothing to judge. Just take a moment here now. Notice the difference between your left and your right side. Just notice. Maybe you close the eyes and you take a few breaths and just bring awareness to the hips and the legs. And we'll slowly make our way to the other side. I'm going to try to remove my blanket, so maybe that will let my feet touch the ground a little bit more, or I can take my foot on top of this blanket. So again, this is kind of like so much of the practice in using props is just allowing them to be part of the practice. So I'm going to turn my right leg out to the right and really plant that foot down. And I'll kind of scoot myself back so that the right leg is really supported by the chair. And then I'll take my left leg back. Right? And so my foot is really flat to the ground. It's like parallel, right? And then we'll take the arms out to the side. The gaze looks over those front fingertips. Take a deep breath. Maybe you press the feet into the ground a little bit. Starting to feel that activation in the legs. Inhale. Exhale, you can reverse the warrior. Left hand slides down, right arm reaches up. Deep breath. Slowly come back up, warrior two. We'll take it side angle. Right elbow into right hip crease. And maybe that left hand stays to the left hip, or it can reach up towards the sky. Long neck. Deep breath. Right, the breath is the most important component. So if you can't breathe, right, let that be an indicator to come out of the pose and come back to one of the other options. Right? Any of the poses that we've done so far. Beautiful. Rise back up, warrior two. So let yourself really relax into the chair. If you've been active, just relax for a second and feel yourself just supported by the chair here. And then if you've really been relaxing, maybe you press the feet into the ground a little bit and notice that activation. Yeah, beautiful. Go ahead and take the hands down. Slowly take the legs back. And once again, just take a few breaths and let that integrate. Noticing how you feel. And remembering that yoga is not always good feelings. So there might be elements of frustration or all kinds of emotions can rise and fall. There's nothing to judge, just notice what comes up for you. Deep breath. When you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold it all the way forward, right? Stopping where it feels right for you. Maybe a little sway. Maybe shaking the head, yes and no. When you're ready, we'll slowly rise up. As you rise, take your left knee with you. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Inhale, right leg lifts. And lower. Inhale, both legs, both arms. Exhale, hands to heart center, feet come to the floor. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, rise up, left leg lifts with you. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right. Lower. Both arms and legs. Exhale, hands to heart center, legs come down. One more, inhale. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, rise up, left leg lifts. Lower. Lift right. Lower. Inhale, both arms, both legs. Maybe circle out those wrists, circle out those ankles. Really open your arms, reach them back. Press your heart forward, deep breath. And exhale, bring it all back to center. Beautiful. A little bit of a balance challenge here. You're gonna just sit yourself forward a little bit onto the chair. I'm gonna actually put my blanket back under me so that I don't slide as much. Just gives a little extra cushion. And I really want to show you that it's okay. Like, give yourself permission to stop and support yourself in the way that you need to. Okay. Yeah. All right, that feels really nice at the edge of the chair. And now take the legs out straight, if you can, to the heels to the ground. Okay. And this is kind of nice. Maybe the tip of the chair is just gently kind of pressing into the back of the thighs. It's a little bit of a release there for those muscles, right? The lower glute, the upper thigh, the upper hamstring. Sit up nice and tall here. Gently draw your toes towards your knees. Beautiful. So the legs are just straight. They're not forcefully straight, right? They're just straight, relaxed. Okay. Now you can stay right here, or you can fold it forward. The legs might want to widen a bit, or you might want to play around with taking them closer together. Wherever you are, you're going to see if you can keep a flat back. You're lifting up and forward. Okay. So you keep that flat back. Once you found that end range, like I can't go any more without losing that flat back, then you can round. Maybe a little sway. Deep breath. When you're ready, start to roll back up. Plant your feet. Let's go ahead and rise for a moment. Come to the back of your chair. Come to the back of your chair. Trying to be mindful of the time. So you come to the back of the chair and take your hands there. And go ahead and step back with your left foot. Right foot comes forward, so almost like a warrior one, right? Back foot can turn to about a 45-degree angle. And really just press down through the feet. Now I want you to try to, without actually moving the legs, use the chair for support here if you need it. You're going to press down through your front heel, and without actually moving it, it's like you're going to pull it back. It's almost like it's going like this, right? And the back leg is going to, like it's pulling forward. So they're pulling towards each other without actually moving, but that's the engagement that we're taking. So take a deep breath here with that activation. One more. Beautiful. When you're ready, step your left foot forward, right leg back, and then same thing on this side. Right, so maybe your stance is short, maybe it's wide, but wherever you are, you're drawing the legs towards each other, down through the front heel and back. Back foot is as if it's going to kick forward. Support yourself with the chair, sit up nice and tall, take 2 breaths. One more. When you're ready, step that back foot forward and take a moment here. Just notice both of your feet to the ground. Deep breath. Now step your left leg back and then your right. And kind of just walk your feet back until you've kind of come into this L shape. So gently press your hands into the chair. So some of you might be up high, right? The shoulders might be tight, and so you're here, and that's okay. You're still going to gently press your hands into the chair so you can activate the shoulders. Maybe you drop down lower, but you're still pressing gently into the chair. You can put a little bend in your knees, kind of pull the hips back. Let the shoulders press forward towards the ears, shoulders towards fingertips. Draw your navel into your spine. Deep breath. Breathing into that space that you're creating. Take 2 more. One more. Beautiful. Slowly start to rise up. One last standing movement here. You can go ahead and take your elbows to the top of the chair. Now the palms can come together or you can keep them apart. Keeping them apart is going to be a little bit harder, right? And you're just going to, again, walk, like tiptoe your feet back. It might not be far. You're going to let your sitting bones sit back as if you're going to sit into a chair. And maybe the palms come together, but you're just gently dropping the chest through the shoulders. And again, if you are keeping the hands apart, it actually becomes quite a bit of work to keep the hands apart. Just explore that movement. One more breath. And when you're ready, you'll slowly rise back up. And now some of you, the back of the chair might be a little bit shorter, so you would be down a little farther. Another option for that would be to come all the way down onto the knees and to take the movement this way. Okay. So lots of options. We get to play around. Whenever you're ready, come back into your seat. Come back into your seat. Perfect. Oh, as you land there, take a few full, deep breaths. Start to roll out the shoulders. Let the shoulders relax. Gently find that half circle in the neck. Gently take the head back to center. Just look up. Shift your gaze. Beautiful. Let the head come back to center. One last movement here before we settle ourselves down. You're going to take the legs wide as they'll go for you, right? So some of you will be a little bit closer. Some of you will be very wide. There's no right or wrong. If you can, press down through your heels. So it's almost like you're going to feel the activation of the legs, right? And maybe a lift even to the hips, like you're almost going to press yourself right off the chair. Right? And if you don't feel that right away, that's okay. And your hands can rest to the thighs. You can even use the hands to kind of grip towards the knees. And then you're going to gently drop your left shoulder in. Take a deep breath here. Come back to center. Other side. Just you're gently pressing the hands into the legs into hands. And we'll just flow one more time through that. Other side. Beautiful. One last one. Just because that twisting is so nice for the spine. Come back, other side. Make sure you're breathing. And come back to center. Beautiful. Take the arms up into cactus arms. Goddess pose. Deep breath. One more. Perfect. Take the hands down. Take the legs back in. Beautiful. Go ahead and take your right ankle And so maybe it just crosses over the opposite ankle. Maybe it's up a little higher, or maybe it comes up onto the thigh. So this might be quite enough, right? Especially if you've had any vulnerability in the hips, right? This might be quite intense. So again, just meet yourself where you are and let this be enough, because you are enough. The toes gently draw towards the knee. If you want, you can sit up nice and tall, and with an exhale, you can gently fold forward. Yeah, and so you can fold all the way forward. This is about how far I have on this side right now. So be gentle, deep breath. And we'll slowly rise back up. Let's come right to the other side. Again, might be different on this side for you. Take a deep breath, sit up nice and tall. Stay right where you are, or fold it forward. Deep breath. And slowly press yourself back up. Take the legs down, circle out the wrists. Relax the hands, now circle out the jaw. Letting the jaw just roll in one direction and then the other. Let your tongue come out. Inhale through the nose. Let the tongue come out. Inhale. Exhale. The funnier you look, you know you're doing it right. Oh, just for a moment, take your hands to your jaw. Just roll out the jaw. Starting to just settle ourselves down here. Cooling ourselves down. Just take the fingertips to the jaw. You can gently open the mouth, like let your mouth open and find that space. It's kind of right in between, right in front of that earlobe. Yeah, and then take your fingertips and gently tuck them in so that you're creating these little fists, and then your knuckles will gently slide right under the cheekbone. And you're just kind of sliding under it. You don't have to press hard. It can be quite gentle and it'll feel really nice. And if it doesn't feel good, right, you can just come to what does. Maybe staying with the jaw feels good. You can gently slide down the jaw with the knuckles. And then take your fingers and just trace up the bridge of your nose and go over your eyebrows a few times. And then let the fingertips just circle at the temples. And then maybe into the hairline. Take your right hand to the left side of the neck. Just kind of right under the ear, just gently take the fingertips down the neck. As you do this, you may feel the need to swallow a few times, and that will help relax the neck and help with any drainage that's happening there. And then the other side. Beautiful. Take your right hand to your left shoulder. Just give it a little squeeze. Just give it a little squeeze all the way down to the top of the shoulder, and then work your way down your arm. And just kind of run your hands over each finger, thumb, pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. Just kind of circle a little bit in the palm. Maybe just circle around the wrist a few times, maybe come back up to the elbow. And then we'll come to the other side. Right hand to that left shoulder, just gently massage down. To the shoulder, the tip of the shoulder, down the arm. And just kind of circle at your joints. So circle over that elbow. Just slide down the arm, over the wrist, and over each finger, thumb, pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. And then just take one more time, opposite side. Just sweep up the arm towards the heart. And then other side, up. Beautiful. And then a little bit at the legs, just draw towards the heart. Beautiful. Now just stay here at the thighs if you can. You can lift the foot and come down the leg. You can just go up the leg. Maybe circle over the knee. Maybe just gently give your foot a little bit of attention. Take your thumbs down the sole of the foot and just run fingers over each toe. And stay as long as you need there, but you can come to the other side when you're ready. Long strokes up those long bones, circles at the joints, right? Moving towards the heart. Hands can gently come down to the soles of the feet, over each toe. Beautiful. And when you are ready, making your way into a comfortable final resting posture. So maybe you are just sitting back a little deeper into your chair. If you want, you can lay down on a mat or on the carpet. Another option is to come down onto the ground and let your legs come up to the chair. Right, so you would let the legs come up and you would gently roll yourself back. And again, just noticing if there's any judgment that comes up for you. And let your pose be what it is. Maybe something to cover your lap, or maybe a blanket over the shoulders to just add a little weight. Maybe you have a hoodie that you want to pull over your head a little bit. And wherever you are, take a deep breath. And then let your breath settle into a very natural, rhythmic flow. Nothing to force in or out. Just a gentle flow of breath. And start to relax the toes, the feet, ankles, shins, calves, knees and thighs, hips and belly, the glutes soften, low back, mid back, upper back, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Relax your throat. The jaw, the tongue, the teeth, the eyes, the back of the head and the top of the head. Letting the mind settle on the sound of your breath. Antonio Machado says, "Walker, there is no path. You make the path you walk." friends, as you sit here, as you rest here, in whatever shape you have landed, I invite you to imagine one aspect of yourself as you would like to be: more loving, less afraid, more confident, less distrusting, more understanding. What is it that you would like to be? Just imagine one aspect of yourself as you would like to be. And as you breathe and you visualize this aspect that you'd like to be in your mind, let go of how you are to be it. Visualize it. Let go of how you are to be it. No need to trouble yourself with how. Step with your heart into the field of this growth. You can stay here as long as it feels right, or when you are ready, you'll gently begin to deepen your breath. Find little movements in your fingers and your toes, wrists and ankles. Maybe a little circle in the neck or a rolling of the shoulders. If the eyes are closed, you can begin to gently flutter them open, meeting me back here. To close out our practice, I'll invite you to draw hands to heart center. If this doesn't feel right, you can always keep the hands in your lap or in any position that feels right for you. And to close, we'll take a deep breath in and out. And I'll invite you to close with the sacred sound of Om, joining in or just listening. Whenever you're ready, inhale. We take a moment to honor all of the teachers who have come before us, who have carved this path, who have shared their knowledge and their wisdom. Know that I am honored to be your teacher, and I am forever grateful to be your student. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining in on this practice. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out in this comment box, or you can reach out privately in Messenger. I'd love to hear how the practice felt for you. If you have any questions, or if there's something that you'd like to do in the future in this class, I'm here. Toivo is here. Make sure you check out our website or visit our Facebook page and become acquainted with all of the online offerings that we have almost every single day of the week here. So I hope you can carry a little peace and contentment with you into the rest of your day. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.